All right, let's talk about content syndication. It's one of those strategies that sounds kind of complicated and for a lot of people, a little bit scary. But honestly, it can be a massive game changer for your brand. Today, we're going to cut through all that confusion and show you exactly what it's all about. Think about it. You pour so much effort into creating amazing stuff, those super detailed white papers, those insightful ebooks, those articles you spent weeks perfecting. You do the research, you write the copy, you nail the design. You've done the heavy lifting. But here's the tough question. Is anyone actually seeing it? The hard truth is that even the best content can just sit there. It hits a wall, stuck on your blog, just waiting for people to hopefully stumble upon it. And that is the exact problem content syndication is built to solve. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about what syndication actually is, why I'm calling it the great amplifier. Then we'll tackle the big, scary SEO question that's on everyone's mind. After that, we'll get practical with how to do it smartly, look at some tools, and then wrap it all up. Sound good? Let's go. So first things first, what in the world is content syndication, really? And why is it such a big deal? When you boil it down, it's actually pretty simple. You take a piece of content you've already made, an article, a video, whatever, and you get it republished on other websites. It's all about getting your best work in front of totally new audiences without having to create anything from scratch. And let's clear something up right away. Syndication is not the same as guest blogging. See, with a guest post, you're writing a brand new, totally original piece for someone else's site. With syndication, you're taking something that already exists and just giving other people permission to feature it. It's about getting more mileage out of the hard work you've already put in. And make no mistake, this isn't some tiny niche strategy. We're talking about a market that's projected to be worth over $5 billion pretty soon. That tells you just how many businesses are seriously investing in this to grow. But you might be wondering, does it actually move the needle? Oh yeah. The data shows that businesses using content syndication see a 45% higher sales achievement. So this isn't just about vanity metrics like views. We're talking about real-world, bottom-line results. And the benefits just keep stacking up. You're not just getting one thing out of it. You're massively boosting your brand's visibility, you're generating high-quality leads, you're driving traffic back to your own site, building powerful backlinks, and on top of all that, you're cementing your reputation as an expert in your field. It's a win-win-win. Okay, so if it's so amazing, why isn't everybody doing it all the time? Well, that brings us to the elephant in the room, the number one thing that freaks marketers out when it comes to syndication: SEO. Yup, this phrase right here, duplicate content. It's the boogeyman of the SEO world. The big fear is that if you republish your work, Google will see multiple copies, get confused, and penalize you for it. And you know what? It's a totally legitimate concern. But here's the good news, and this comes straight from the source. A top analyst at Google, John Mueller, has basically said that it's not a problem unless you're trying to be sneaky or deceptive about it. As long as you're upfront, Google gets it. You just have to send the right signals. And there are two main ways to send those signals. The most popular one is called a canonical tag. It's just a little snippet of code that tells Google, hey, just so you know, this is a copy. The real, original one that deserves all the credit is over at this other link. The other option is a no-index tag, which is even more direct. It just tells search engines to not even bother putting the copied version in their search results. Either way, problem solved. So now that we know we can handle the SEO side of things, how do we actually build a syndication strategy that's smart, safe, and, actually works? Because great results here don't happen by accident. You have to be strategic. It's all about picking the right partners, choosing the right content to share, and of course, measuring what's happening. Think of it less as a one-off trick and more as a core part of your marketing program. So here's your quick and dirty checklist. First, pick your partners carefully. You want legit sites that have the kind of audience you want to reach. Second, and this one is absolutely non-negotiable, make sure they agree to use a canonical tag that points back to your original article. Third, always require them to credit you, usually with a little line that says originally published on with a link. And last but not least, track your results. You need to know if it's actually paying off. All right, you've got the strategy down. Now let's talk about the tools of the trade you can use to make it all happen. And we'll take a peek into the future too. You've got a few different ways to go here. There are free platforms like Medium or LinkedIn, which are fantastic for building up your own personal brand.
Then you've got the huge paid networks like Outbrain or Taboola. These guys can get your content featured on major news sites. And finally, there are full-service vendors who will handle the whole shebang for you, focusing on getting you quality leads.
But the really exciting stuff happening in this space right now, it's all about AI. Artificial intelligence is completely changing the game, making syndication way smarter and more powerful than ever before. I mean, look at this. AI can now help you customize your content for different audiences, automatically figure out the perfect places and times to publish, and even predict which topics are going to be a home run before you even create them. It's all about making your content work smarter, not just harder. It's pretty incredible. Whew, okay, that was a lot. So let's just zoom out for a second and boil this down to the key things you absolutely need to walk away with. If you remember one thing, let it be this. Content syndication is not an SEO risk. It's an opportunity. When you do it the right way, it becomes a massive force multiplier, taking the awesome content you're already creating and putting it on the biggest stage possible. So that leaves me with one final question for you. Now that you've got the playbook, how can you use this to amplify your best work? Think about that one killer article you wrote or that amazing report. How can you give it the much, much bigger audience it really deserves?